We're going to now introduce a very dear friend.
Yes, all right. Now we have a surprise guest coming up here, a dear friend, old friend, a guy who's making waves in the field of natural health, natural news, hint, hint. Yeah. One of the
Mystery
greatest
guest.
voices out there that is fighting for freedom in America today, and that is Mr. Mike Adams. Come on down, Mr. Mike Adams.
Come on down! Woo! Mike Adams, everybody stand up! We have greatness in the room! Mike Adams! Woo! Good to see you. Nice to see you, Len. All right. Thank you. Woo! Mike Adams! Woo!
Wow, great to be here. Wonderful to see you again. Thank you so much for inviting me here. David, Len, everybody who's making this happen. Yeah, thank you. Love the energy here. It's just great to be here. Now, many of you know that my wife and I are living full-time in South America. We're living in Ecuador. I'm going to give you a little update on that situation. We're growing, right now, we're growing 70% of our own diet. And we, thanks. And a lot of it's berries, by the way. It's like 5 types of berries. We go out and we just harvest berries and just eat them fresh every day. We're juicing, fresh celery every day of the year, juicing the celery with the roots, of course. When you buy celery in the store, you're not getting the roots. It's like the roots are missing on all kinds of things, but when you grow it yourself, you've got the roots. So we just juice all that. We're having a great time down there. But I want to give a quick update before I go on to that. Some really fun stuff that's going on. The swine flu and the vaccine thing that happened, and how much they were, pushing the vaccine. So some of you may know I've done a few songs in the past, some hip hop songs, and bailout money. That's right. I want my bailout money, and I just spent the last 3 days in a studio in San Diego with a couple of professional artists, and we recorded a new song called Vaccine Zombie. Vaccine Zombie. And we had Latanya Lockett is one of the vocalists on it. And I'm going to actually play you're going to be the first to hear this anywhere in the world. Just a minute from the song. I'm going to let you hear this because I think you'll really enjoy the lyrics. It's a little sassy too, so watch out for that. But and then we have a mystery rapper who joined us. He's actually a really well-known hip-hop guy, and we asked him to join us on this record. And he said, "That's cool, but I don't want to have my name on it." And I said, "Why not, man? You want to be on the Vaccine Zombie song?" And he looked at me and he said, "I'm too cool for old school." But he had a good attitude. He was laughing. He's having a good time. But you'll hear his voice on this. Can you cue that up, Rich, from 40 seconds and stop it off at 2 minutes? Just a little segment here, Vaccine Zombie.
Do something unexpected. I do everything the doctors tell me. Swallow all those pills they sell me. I'm afraid that germs might kill me. Vaccine zombie. I forgot how to think for myself, yeah. I don't understand a thing about health, yeah. I think the same as everyone else. I'm a vaccine zombie.
When I took the shot, then my face turned blue. I started feeling hot inside, but I didn't have a clue what to do. My temperature was 102, and my nutsack shriveled up and fell off too. The nurse screamed, said something was missing. She called the physician, who said he had a suspicion that the vaccine caused a neurological condition, and soon I would see the mortician. They started cutting out my brain, happy as can be. Bunch of undead doctors from the CDC. I finally figured out what happened to me when they said we got another vaccine zombie.
Step 1, remove your brain. Step 2, replace with zombie vaccine. Step 3, watch television for further instructions from the Centers for Zombie Control.
That's about it.
I do everything
That's good, Rich.
tell me.
So thank you. Thanks. So that's going to be a free download when it's done. Just on the website, Natural News. You just download that, spread it out there. We're just having fun with this, right? We got to educate people. We got to do it in a lot of fun ways and have good energy and keep it entertaining. And that's what that's all about. We're all doing that. Keep it entertaining. Naturalnews.com. Thanks. Thanks for asking. That's where the download will be. And we'll have a video too. We're going to do like a little Michael Jackson Thriller thing, dancing around like zombies and have this song going. And I'm sure we'll get an official letter from the CDC. Dear Health Ranger, misinformation song. You never know what you're going to get. So actually what I came here to talk to you about tonight, but I thought you would enjoy just hearing that little preview, is some more serious stuff actually that I have learned and experienced in living in South America full time now for about a year. We've been there. And I'm actually here to talk to you just for a few minutes about two things, fear and happiness. And, it's the yin and the yang that we often deal with. And I've had some very deep spiritual experiences there that touch on these issues. And I want to share that with you here. Because, this is the longevity conference. And if you're going to live a long time, you might as well be happy doing it, right? So happiness is key. Well, my wife and I moved there, really in pursuit of happiness, and in some ways out of a fear of what we did not have or what we thought we didn't have here in America. A fear of maybe what's coming, or a fear of not having enough of something, a fear of not having your own food supply to live on, a fear of not having water, not having the natural resources that we need to live. But also in pursuit of happiness, because I'm sure you can imagine it makes you really happy to know that you wake up every morning and you have your own amazing organic garden just right there available to you. You can juice every day, you can eat every day, and it's not only happiness, it's also a sense of comfort. It's like, wow, I could just live here. I don't need anything else. Just nature really is all I need to live here. We've got water, we've got sunshine. We've got air. We don't need air conditioning or heating because the temperature is just right every day. We have everything we need to live here. So there's a lot of comfort and a lot of happiness. We have a bamboo forest. So we grow our own lumber, so to speak. It's a very renewable, sustainable source of building materials. And it only takes 3 years to grow to full height. So you can harvest easily 10 to 20% of the bamboo every year and keep that forest healthy. And we do that. We make a lot of things out of bamboo. And we just have a great time doing that. And in the garden, oh my goodness, we planted some dinosaur kale plants. I thought, I like to juice kale, and I put 12 seeds in the ground. 6 months later, I had an orchard. They were like this tall. Seriously, I wish I had a picture to show you. They are 2 meters tall, kale trees almost. It's like an orchard here, and I'm walking through them. And now my neighbor, by the way, is Matt Monarch from the Raw Food World. Many of you probably know who Matt is. And he's juicing my kale right now. I said, Matt, juice it, man. It keeps going. And so we have all this amazing abundance in the garden. And there is a level of happiness that comes with that, a lot of happiness. But it wasn't all the happiness that we were searching for. So we began adventuring. And, Ecuador is a place of adventure. Lots of places in South America for adventure. Peru, Costa Rica, Ecuador as well. And we began to go on these adventures with the local medicine people. They say medicine men, but they're not all men, so medicine people. Men and women alike who know this indigenous medicine. So we went on this one journey with, and I don't mean like journey, I mean like we were walking with this guy. and that's a different journey. And so we were walking with this guy and went to visit his house. He's out in an area called Zamora, Ecuador. Is anybody here from Ecuador, by the way? Colombia? Over here? All right. Well, anyway, Zamora is a rainforest type of area, and that's where you grow a lot of cacao. So we were able to go there and just look at the cacao orchards, and we saw, we were looking at the pods, and we were actually opening them up and eating the raw cacao fruit, the fruit that surrounds the pods. So we were just, they open them up like an ice cream cone, and they just walk around, eating the cacao fruit. This is just the most natural thing in the world to these people, and they take these pods that are growing on the trees, and I think they're called like ice cream bean. Does that ring a bell? Yeah, we call them guava down there. They're just called guava. That's not the same as our guava. What we call guava, they call guayava down there. It's a different deal, but so they're just walking around eating the guava seeds and eating the cacao, and this is the most natural thing in the world. And these people, they're wonderful people, but they don't understand how precious that is to us, you know? We're like, wow, this is amazing. Can I get it on video and everything? And they think we're crazy. I'm like, what? We do this every day. What's the deal? You know, can I see your iPod? I'll trade you my iPod for your cacao, okay? We'll make that work right here. So we're enjoying all this cacao and this guava, and we go to this guy, this Shuar medicine man's home. Shuar, S-H-U-A-R is how that's spelled. And you know, I'm telling you, this is not the luxury Hyatt or anything, but it's a very humble and very sustainable type of living. And so he's got his, you know, wooden house here, and he's got like chickens running around, and he's got his kids, his toddlers running around, and we say, you know, we want you to make some medicine for us here, because we want to try some of the Shuar medicine. And he says, okay, and he runs out and he just starts grabbing plants all around his yard. Like these are weeds, weed number 1, weed number 2, and he starts cutting off leaves, and he just starts grabbing this stuff, and he slices a piece of bark, and he catches the latex that comes out, and he just puts all this stuff together. He puts it in a pile, and then he starts just blessing it. And then he does this thing where they spray you. They spray you with a little bit of alcohol, like they drink it, and then poof, you know, this is part of it. And I'm not making fun of it. This is a very sacred thing. And they spray you with a little bit of cologne too. I know I wasn't sure, but you know, I just wanted to experience it. So we were getting this treatment, and some guys use fire. They spray you with a little bit of fire too. They just light it up, which is a whole nother deal. So we're doing this, and then finally he makes this tincture out of it, and we go back and pick it up a couple weeks later, and it's this very strong, it's like in a big liquor bottle, medicine with sangre de drago in it. You know, the dragon's blood is the literal translation, and a lot of other herbs in there. And we start drinking this a little bit every day. You know, and we're thinking, this is amazing, and we're feeling really good from this, but what about the happiness factor? Because, you know, we really wanted to come here and find more happiness, and this is cool, but I don't think I'm going to find happiness, you know, in these herbs. They did a lot of other good things, a lot of energy, a lot of good things, but what are you thinking? I didn't say that. No, this is all out of the country, so it's all good. But the happiness factor just wasn't quite there. So we heard about this town near Zamora that is a town of gold. This is where they find most of the gold in the country of Ecuador. You may not know, but Ecuador has more gold than any other country in the world. Undiscovered gold in the ground. So we say, yeah, let's go. Let's check this out. So we grab this metal detector, and we head out, and it's way up in the hills. You can't even get to it all by car. You park near it, and then you walk into it, and you come upon this view. You're walking on this narrow path around this bend, and then this view opens up, and I'm telling you, it is a giant valley with these rivers, just water falling off from huge heights, just coming down with all the amazing energy and all the amazing noise. And it's like, this is like a little paradise here in this secret, sacred valley. But it wasn't sacred anymore because they found gold there. And it was loaded with gold, so much gold in this river that everybody moved in. Everybody moved in, and they built their own gold collecting systems. So the river was diverted by everybody, every little family, and there were houses built all the way from the bottom to the top of this entire mountainside. It was like a mountainside. It looked like condos or something, but they were all there for gold. Every one of them, and they had these giant machines with stone-sized rollers. I mean, they were bigger than me, and they would grind up the rocks in these giant, like, grindstone cups. And they were grinding up, they would take rocks out of the river and throw them in these bowls, and they would run these rocks around and grind them up into smaller and smaller pieces and run those through sifters. And there was a full-on operation here just to get gold. And it wasn't about the gold and the amazing properties of gold, like monatomic gold and these other things that you know about. It was, for most of these people there, it was about making a living. It was just another factory, except the product is gold rather than cars or furniture or something else. I mean, they were wonderful people, don't get me wrong, but they were there because, for the reason most of us work, because it paid the bills. And it wasn't this gold paradise that I had envisioned. There was a lot of gold there, but it was like a gold factory that this valley had been turned into. And I thought to myself, man, given all the amazing gold here, and that's what it has become, so, where's the happiness factor here? The gold should be an amazing thing that people find. And back in the day, before everybody harvested it, they told me that there was so much gold in the rivers that chickens, when they would kill the chickens to eat the chicken, they would open up the gizzards and there would be gold nuggets in the gizzards of the chickens because they're just eating right out of the river and picking up gold nuggets. It's like literally about, the story about laying the golden egg. It might be true. So someone actually made fun of me when I was there. They said, "See, Mike, vegans wouldn't have found that gold." I was like, what? You can't kill the chicken just for that? No, you can find your own gold, Anyway, so in search of this happiness, we continued. And one of the most amazing experiences I had there was actually getting to go to some nearby trees that grew in this gold-rich region. And these were Sangre de Drago trees. And for those of you who may not know, I know most of you do, but if you don't know, Sangre de Drago is actually a latex that comes out of these trees. They're actually kind of a white bark tree, very narrow, very tall. And if you actually just cut the bark with a machete, and then this latex pours out and you can harvest it. And they make a lot of powerful medicine out of this latex. The indigenous tribes used it as an anti-cancer remedy and a digestive remedy and many other things they used it for many, many years. So I was thinking, man, these Sangre de Drago trees are growing in this gold-rich soil. So I'm going to get some fresh sangre out of these trees, probably with a lot of gold minerals in it, and that should be something really cool. So within a few minutes, we found ourselves licking these trees. we're like, cut it and just, I don't know, we didn't have harvesting equipment. We're just a little pocket knife, and then we're literally slurping the juice from these trees. And, latex doesn't really taste that great. It's it's really medicinal. I think it's if you dry it, the powder is something like 90% proanthocyanidins by weight, which is a very potent antioxidants, and it probably has a complex collection of all kinds of minerals. So we had a great time doing this, and it was really one of the highlights of our experience down there. But even though we had that, I kept thinking to myself, this is really cool, but it's still not fulfilling me in the way that I was hoping to. Oh, by the way, nobody is actually selling the sangre from this gold-rich region of Ecuador, and I think it's just a wonderful business opportunity for someone who can do it in harmony with the trees and not take too much, just take a little bit. The myth or the mythology there is that the trees like to give a little, and you can cut the bark a little, but not too much, and they just replenish the latex. So someday, maybe someone will do that, and we'll have Ecuadorian gold Sangre de Drago here in North America, because it is some very, very powerful medicine. Maybe one of the medicine people down there will do that, and it'll help some of the local tribes make more money with their forests alive rather than cutting them down and growing soybeans, right? which, that's Brazil for you, right? Soybean land. Used to be rainforest, now it's either growing GMOs, soybeans. Not cool. Let's keep it alive and show these people a model for making money with the forest alive, giving medicine back to us. And I know guys like Amazon John Easterling is doing that with the Amazon Herb Company in Peru. So I really applaud that kind of thing. And anybody who's doing fair trade, by the way, fair trade cacao, I really applaud. Okay, so getting back to this. So we were going through all these experiences, and there's a wonderful hummingbird type of farm down there. You can just go visit all these incredible birds. Basically, when you're living in Ecuador, you are surrounded by Mother Nature. And you have every type of food and every type of medicine that you could possibly want, and you have all this amazing nature. But what I learned, and the point of this, is that I came back to California 3 weeks ago. And I hadn't been in the country for quite some time, about a year. Came back to California, and I was at the Expo West convention, and then I was at another convention, and I was able to do this music, and then now I'm here with you tonight. And I have experienced the most amazing feeling of community and healing just being around all of you and all of these people who I find myself to be very aligned with. People who are into sustainable living, people who are into healing medicine from food, people who are actually concerned about the way the world is going. And they want to make the world a better place. And they want to do it through food and through healing and through education. And they want to stand up against, the Monsantos out there. And they want to take a stand against those corporations that are poisoning the planet and poisoning our children, with psychiatric drugs, for example. They want to take a stand against these things. And I found myself, wow, this is so amazing, just being among all of these wonderful people. And I found myself just experiencing true happiness for no reason. I was stuck in LA traffic on the 405, and I was happy. I was so happy. I was so excited I couldn't control it. I was like, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be in contact with all of these amazing people and to be in touch and to be sharing. People will come up to me with these stories, hey, I read your website and I use this information to help my child heal. My child used to be severely autistic, and now they're no longer considered at that level. They've improved. The neurology has improved. A woman came up to me and she said, I used to have stage 4 liver cancer in her case. Stage 4 liver cancer, and now she's running a marathon. And this was all through healing foods. And by the way, I don't take credit for that. I mean, I'm just the messenger for a lot of other stuff that's coming from Mother Nature and, higher sources of knowledge. I'm just a little channel for that. But what's coming through all of us is this amazing healing alignment and this commonality that we all care about. That we all care about a sustainable world. And we all care about raising our children in an environment that's not toxic to them and educating them from an early age so that they can grow up and they can make good decisions about what's in their food and how to be discerning consumers. Discerning. Isn't that the key? You're teaching them how to read the ingredients. Watch out for this. Autolyzed yeast extract. Partially hydrogenated soybean oil, aspartame, monosodium glutamate. Watch out for this stuff. And the kids know this stuff now. I had a little kid coming up to me. It must have been like 5 or 6 years old. Little kid comes up and he's like, singing my song. Don't inject me. Don't infect me. I'm like, what? It's like this little kid singing this anti-vaccine song. He's going to be singing Vaccine Zombie next. It'll be like Halloween, at this school. Vaccine zombie. But it touched me, to see this, to see these little kids being reached, and their parents are the reason. The parents deserve the credit for exposing them for this information. So what really, the message I got so deeply in this was this. It's not where you are. It's who you're with. It's who you're with. Because you could be in the most amazing, pristine, natural, abundant place in the world with every piece of food in the world and every bit of sunshine in the world. But if you're not with the people who are on board with what you're into, with your philosophy, with your desires, your goals, your intentions for a more positive world, then none of that really can replace that. Then there's a gap. But when you're with the kind of people who are on board, when you're with the people who can support you, who you can talk to, you can brainstorm with, and you can share ideas with, then I say this: it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter. You could be in the driest climate in the world. You could be in the deserts of California. If you're with the people you love and people who love you and people who get you, then you can be in those deserts and you can turn those deserts into an oasis. You can find food and medicine and water in the desert. Wherever you are, it's who you're with that matters most. And so, look around. Who are we all with right now? Who are we with? I mean, we, everybody in this room and those joining us online too, we are a community. We are a self-supporting community of like-minded people who I think are people who represent the future of human civilization on our planet. And I am honored to be with you here tonight. And I realized coming back that, wow, I mean, it's great to be in many different places and have options of where to go. But several people have come up to me and they've said, I want to get down to Ecuador, I want to go to South America, or I want to go to New Zealand. And now I have to just ask the question, what is it that you're seeking? And what is it that you might leave behind? Maybe you do have a support group here. Maybe you do have family or friends or people, or even a retailer that you go to. Like a health food store that you have a relationship with, a gym where you have a relationship with the people there. Think about that. Be careful about what you seek, because you might leave something else behind. And it's good to remember who you're with is more important than where you are. Now, are we at 1 minute remaining? Is that right? Okay, 1 minute then. I've said this before. I believe that the raw food vegan community, of which I consider myself a part, even though I'm not 100% raw or even 100% vegan all the time, especially when I'm in South America. I do eat a little bit of fish down there. But I consider this community to be the genetic future of the human race. I really do. Because the mainstream consumers are destroying their DNA through toxic chemical exposure, through the pharmaceuticals that cause DNA mutations, through the personal care products, through the chemical additives in foods and medicines and cleaners and solvents and cosmetics. All of these things, the products in the average bathroom, cause genetic mutations. And maybe it's all some kind of plan by the corporations out there to kind of not have everybody reproduce. I don't know. I'm not saying I totally believe that, but I've heard that theory before. But I do know this, that they won't stop us, because we have not only spiritual integrity, we have genetic integrity. And whatever happens with the future of our planet, I believe that you, all of you out there, all of us, we are the parents and the grandparents and the great-grandparents of the generations that will come to experience abundance on this planet, that will help the planet heal, and that will heal each other in the process. So thank you.
Mike Adams.